How's it going, ladies and Bruces? I'm Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back to Quantum Suicide. It's time for the bidding wars. It doesn't matter how this is going to play out because either way it's going to put us on a new path. So, let's get to it, shall we?
So, before I was rudely interrupted, I have come up with a few different allocations that, as team captain, you should choose from.
Alright, 3, 2, 4, 1.
Is every...
And then 7201. And then 1522. No, 0334.
Congratulations, Yoshiki! Now, how to kill you.
Okay.
Can I get some suggestions from the audience?
Not electrocution. We've seen that one twice now. None of us suggested anything. In my case, it was total shock.
No? What about you, ma'am? The lady with the scowl?
Kimiko.
This isn't funny, Dai.
Alright then, I'll choose. And I pick electrocution.
Well, I guess it's a fitting way for me to die.
We'll skip then, because I've already shown this twice. So we'll skip to the end of the execution, and I'll bring you back. Okay, Chapter 3. Yoshiki got electrocuted the same way as always. Let's get back into it. I turned over in my sleep, causing my hair to stand up with the static as it was drawn across the pillowcase. The sudden sting of the discharge tore me from my deep sleep. Yoshiki! My eyes darted around the darkened room as I caught my breath. Yoshiki? As I came to, my head threw up images of the night before, making my stomach turn. I couldn't believe we'd lost. I'd failed him and his blood was on my hands. Yoshiki was dead and it was my fault. Why couldn't I have lost instead? Oh shit, I skipped by accident. My bad. Hours later I woke, feeling the weight on my feet. I tried to kick it off, thinking it was my blankets.
Oi!
Shizuka and Katashi were both perched at the end of my bed. How the hell did you get in here?
Shizuka has many hidden skills.
You hacked my door lock?
Not so much hacked as broke.
As in, hack sword. You broke my door lock?
Well, yeah, but, you know, how else would I get in?
Knock? You could knock like a normal person?
We did. Multiple times. Apparently you're quite the heavy sleeper.
Maybe I just didn't want to be bothered. I sat there with my arms crossed, making my unhappiness very clear.
Please don't be upset, newbie. We came to cheer you up.
Well, so far you aren't doing too well. I saw Katashi flinch, but he recovered with a strong smile immediately after, as if to challenge my negativity.
I have better things to do than deal with Miss Grumpy Bum here. I'm out.
Shizuka's the best. She's my favorite. Shizuka slid off the bed and left, not looking back even for a second.
I'm impressed.
What?
I knew you would chase Shizuka away eventually. She looks for any excuse to avoid work. But within a minute? Well done.
That wasn't my intention.
Wasn't it? You didn't want us here before she left, and I assume you still don't.
Katashi was right. I just wanted to continue my solitary pity party.
I know you and Yoshiki were close. And I know for a fact that he wouldn't want you sulking in bed over him.
Yeah, and what exactly do you suggest? Katashi smiled as if prepared for this exact question.
Oh, newbie, I thought you'd never ask. Would you like to join me in the kitchen for a bite to eat?
I'm not hungry.
Give me the opportunity to help your appetite return at least.
I sat, considering his suggestion with arms still crossed. I'm on the fence. Convince me.
May I persuade you with vivid descriptions of what awaits you?
Go on.
If you were to accompany me to the kitchen, I can promise you a flavor festival, nay, a veritable culinary carnival for your taste buds.
Well, now I'm intrigued.
Imagine fluffy pancakes, plump strawberries, rich chocolate sauce, melted butter, freshly baked bread, homemade jam.
Okay, I get it.
Has my persuasion been successful?
The laugh I had been desperately holding back burst out. He had me at chocolate sauce. Katashi punched the air triumphantly.
Alrighty then. Up and at it. Let's go get him, soldier.
Comically grumbling in faux protest, I hastened from my bed and followed Katashi to the kitchen. When we arrived in the kitchen, I could see that Katashi had been cooking for hours. There was food everywhere. More food than I thought I could eat in a whole lifetime. Well, you've really gone all out.
I knew that I wouldn't disappoint you.
I'm amazed that one person can make so much food and it still looks so delicious.
Oh, newbie. You know just how to make me blush.
Katashi giggled as he ran up and down the island, explaining all his creations.
So everything here is a breakfast food one way or another. But I've divided the room into savory and sweet. Which do you prefer?
Savory.
Savory, eh? Perhaps you have a more mature palate than I gave you credit for.
I'm very mature.
Is that so?
Nah, I'm just used to bland, savory foods after living on dehydrated field rations my entire life.
I sometimes forget that you haven't been here forever. I just can't imagine a time without you as part of the crew.
Couldn't help but feel embarrassed. It was time for me to swiftly change the subject. You must really enjoy cooking.
I most certainly do. But I haven't always.
Really? There was a time when you didn't like it?
Yeah, when I was younger.
So why didn't you like to cook then? Katashi went silent for a moment, clearly thinking back to when he was a child.
I guess it wasn't really cooking that I disliked. It was the damn washing up afterwards.
Everybody hates that. Shit, that reminds me, I gotta do washing.
My dad always made me do all the dishes.
He didn't help you?
He said, when you have children, you can make them do the dishes for you. But until then, the dishes were my burden to bear.
Wish I could make my child do the dishes for me. Your dad sounds like quite the taskmaster.
Maybe so, but boy could he cook. I'm not even in the same ballpark.
That kid, eh?
That was how he wooed my mom so effectively.
With food.
Of course. How else do men get themselves wives?
I guess I have a soft spot for food?
Excellent. My plan's already working.
What plan?
Oh, nothing. Enough chit-chat. I require your expert criticism on all these dishes.
Katashi handed me a fork and gestured for me to begin. It was hard not to salivate as I approached the dishes. Within moments I had a mouthful of pancake. This is sure good.
I want to try. I want to try.
In shock, my pancake shot down the wrong way, bringing on a huge coughing fit.
Newbie, are you okay?
Katashi rubbed my back while I struggled to regain control of my breathing. My eyes streamed, bulging and red.
Katashi, it isn't even game time, yet you're trying to kill a crew member. On second thoughts, I think I'll pass on your food. It's clearly not suitable for human or AI consumption.
You're an asshole, Dai. Regardless of Dai's obvious antagonizing, Katashi still looks slighted by her words. Dai, what do you want?
You alright there? Do you need me to rescue you from this cook?
Katashi stared daggers at Dai. I'm fine, I just need a drink. Katashi poured me a glass of water, which I guzzled down with relief. Much better. Thanks, Katashi.
Least I could do, given that I just about killed you.
Katashi meant the words in jest, but a tinge of guilt crept through.
You two finished?
We both nodded impatiently, so Dai would share her reason for being here.
It's that time again. Time for an explanation of the new Deletion Game. I'm going to need you to report to the dining hall pronto.
Alright, message received.
Fantastic! See you there, kiddies!
Dai waved childishly as she walked backwards straight through the
Are
wall.
you okay, newbie? I'm so sorry.
I'm fine, it was my fault. My experiment to see if I could inhale pancakes was a resounding failure.
Thanks for making me feel better, newbie. We best head to the dining hall before Princess Pain in the Ass kills us for being late.
Yes, we better. Having no death wishes today, we both made our way briskly to the dining hall. Oh, here we go. This is
Wonderful!
bidding. No,
Everyone's
vampire
here.
children explanation? The captain turned on Dai, her words cold and measured.
Now that everyone is here, explain the game and then leave.
Aw, is someone still sulking over...
Dai stopped abruptly, feigning forgetfulness.
What was his name again? Yogi? Yobashi? Yo... something.
Yo, mama?
You know his name was Yoshiki. I care not for your antics. Get to the point.
Ooh.
Wow, I think I've actually broken the captain.
Dai waved her hands in front of the captain, who paid her no attention.
I didn't think I would ever say this. Captain, I'm sorry.
The captain ignored Dai. She knew this was probably another one of her traps.
I'm serious.
Why would you start being serious now?
Beatrix placed herself squarely between Dai and the captain.
You killed Yoshiki, yet you have the nerve to tell the captain you're sorry? Tell us about your game and get out.
Dai was visibly shocked by Beatrix's aggression, but a coy smile quickly took over.
That's so much better.
What?
That fighting spirit. I knew I could count on you, Trixie. The captain's attitude is boring.
You're boring, Dai. The captain wasn't mentally present in this conversation any longer. She wasn't about to respond to anything.
But you're a breath of fresh air. There's still hope for this game yet. Allow me to introduce you to the newest round of the Deletion Game. Vampire Children.
Alright, we're going to skip ahead because we've seen this explanation about 70 times, and we'll bring you back. Thank you for standing up to the captain.
It wasn't her I was standing up for.
What do you mean?
Yoshiki was like a younger brother to the captain.
I witnessed Beatrix's eyes filled with unbridled rage.
No one touches little brothers.
Beatrix stormed off down the hallway. Everyone took the rest of the day and let the game and situation sink in. I knew that Beatrix acted bulletproof, but she had a soft heart. She could make up any excuse she liked, but at the end of the day, it was obvious that she was protecting the captain. Oh, you're so sweet, Beatrix. Sometimes. Jordan? Huh?
Please wake up.
But sleeping.
The captain has requested your presence on the bridge.
What time is it?
Precisely 4 a.m.
What could she possibly want at this hour?
She has concerns that require your counsel.
Can't this wait until a more regular time of day?
Would you like me to ask her to postpone your counsel?
You think she'd be okay with it?
Historical data on similar situations would lead me to believe that this is unlikely.
Fine. Let her know I'm coming.
As you wish.
I left my room, leaving me to scramble to find my uniform. This is going to be the black hole thing again, so we can skip this once our introductions are done. I arrived breathlessly on the bridge to find the captain pacing, visibly worried. Captain, what's wrong?
Oh, thank you for coming.
My pleasure, what's wrong?
I have some concerns.
Alright, skipping ahead. Alright, we are back in our quarters. I slowly cracked open my eyes and was amazed to find myself blissfully free of the usual fatigue. I let out a deeply satisfied yawn, stretched my arms out in front of me. Alright, brain, we're friends, right? I feel like we can make some real progress today. I jumped enthusiastically out of bed and, with renewed vigor, strode to the lab to get things underway. The lights blinked on in the lab as I crossed the threshold, emptied out the box of research notes and laid them out on the desk. Alright, come on, brain, we got this. Just as I remembered what the captain had said earlier,
Good morning. Your serotonin and oxytocin levels appear to be elevated above the usual average.
Why, thank you. Is that a compliment? I don't know. I guess that means my pep talk worked. I'm just feeling like I have to be close to a breakthrough.
That is good news. However, I regret to inform you that I still have no new information regarding Dai or the deactivation code.
That's okay, we'll manage somehow.
Thank you for your assurance. How may I be of assistance this morning?
I was hoping you'd play some music through the lab's PA system.
Of course. Any requests?
Your choice. Surprise me. I bowed in acknowledgement and disappeared. As she did, music began playing through the loudspeaker in the lab. Not bad, not bad. My good mood made my morning fly by. Sometime before midday, I put down the papers and took up the pocket watch, turning it over and over in my hand, as if expecting the secrets to simply fall out. Go on, watch. Tell me what you know. I'm listening.
You be!
I looked up and saw Katashi in the doorway to the lab, but I couldn't hear him very well over the loud music.
I need you in.
Hang on. Aye, please turn off the music. The music stopped instantly, leaving a ringing in my ears. Katashi was still attempting to yell over the music.
Regret it!
Oh dear. Is he going to kill me? Katashi and I both simultaneously broke into laughter. What do I owe this pleasure, Katashi?
I need you.
My chest tightened and my heart raced as it prepared for what was to inevitably follow.
To accompany me to the rec room.
I let out a sigh of relief. I was not in the frame of mind for a deep and potentially awkward conversation. The rec room? What for?
I prepared some popcorn and would like to extend you an invitation to my evening of movies.
You gonna watch movies?
Well, newbie, your hearing checks out. That is, in fact, what I said.
Katashi smiled at me playfully.
I think you've worked enough. You need to take a break. And who better to spend a break with than yours truly?
What a bold assumption. He appeared very pleased that I could poke fun at him in return.
Well?
Go on then. Spend the night with Katashi. Bit of undertones there. You know what? That sounds delightful.
Really? You're in?
Katashi couldn't hide the excitement in his voice. Calm down.
Sorry. I was seriously expecting you to just brush me off.
No, you're right. I do need a break.
Meet you in the rec room in 5 minutes?
Sure. See you there. Katashi danced out of the room, and I even saw him jump and click his heels together as he pirouetted down the hall. I packed up my work and followed closely behind to the rec room. I found Katashi blobbing happily in one of the armchairs very close to the television. Your company has arrived.
I'm a very lucky man.
Katashi smiled ear to ear as I took a seat in the chair opposite. So, what are we watching?
That's entirely up to you.
Oh, I get to choose?
Naturally. What genre of movie do you like the most?
Comedy.
What do you like about comedy movies?
Who doesn't like laughing?
Good point. Even Dai would love a comedy.
I think her comedy would be closer in nature to our horror.
To each their own, right?
Katashi's smile was laced with sadness. What's your favorite genre?
What do you think my favorite genre is?
Based on right now? Romance.
Ding ding ding!
Really? Romance movies are your absolute favorite?
Is the need to find true love really something to laugh at?
I guess not. Sorry I laughed. I guess I just didn't expect it from you.
Consider it forgotten already. Let's get this movie rolling.
We sat and watched movies for 4 hours. The popcorn, sadly, lasted fewer than 10 minutes. After the movies, I wished Katashi a good night and made my way back to my quarters. I'd never really spent time like this before. Just relaxing and watching movies. I wasn't sure if I loved movies or spending time with Katashi. The thought made me blush, and I looked around just to make sure no one was there to witness it. I placed the precious pocket watch on the bedside table before hopping in, satisfied with how the evening had gone. I sighed with contentment and snuggled deeper into my bed. My thoughts couldn't have been further from tomorrow's impending deletion game. My dreams ran wild in my head, making my physical body toss and turn uncontrollably. One particularly violent vision made me jerk slightly too far to the edge of my bed, and I smacked my head square on the corner of my bedside table. Ow! My head spun around madly, the adrenaline pumping through my body, putting me in full flight or fight mode. I quickly realized that the only foe to be seen was the bedside table. We meet again, my greatest enemy. I jabbed at the bedside table in jest, disturbing the pocket watch and causing the strobing green light to lurch around the dim room. The watch! I shot out of bed faster than I'd ever moved before and took the watch in hand. It bathed in my singlet shirt and shorts in light, and wonder dawned across my dimly lit features. The lights are green! The lights are green! I was wondering, there's 5 words in the code, and we've gotten 2, but is there going to be a way for them to let us know what order they go in, or is it going to be obvious when we've got all the words together what order they go in? Or what? Not too sure. Let's press the button now and see what happens, and then we'll come back and we will not press the button and see what happens there. Probably going to bring us to the override code and everything again. Within moments of pressing the button, I felt a gut-wrenching sensation before everything faded to black. Huh?
I said, are you okay?
Teofilo. We've seen a few different characters in different dimensions, but never whoever the fuck Teofilo is. Have we heard the name Philo though? Some fucking businessman guy? I was laying on the floor of my quarters. I looked around and noticed that my room was devoid of my belongings, and there was an unfamiliar man standing over me. Who are you?
That's what I should be asking you.
Me?
But it would be impolite to not introduce myself first.
Are you a scientist? You don't look like a scientist.
My name is Teofilo Altado. I'm the damage control officer on the Everett under Captain Yukimori. You can call me Teo.
My name's Jordan. I saw Teo flinch at the mention of my name, but he quickly regained composure.
It's nice to meet you.
Quick question, why is your nose bleeding?
Oh, that. My apologies. My nose bleeds in the presence of a beautiful woman.
I want to go back to my own dimension.
If you would, please, give me a moment.
Okay, Master Roshi. Teo turned and cleaned himself up before facing me again.
I hate to be rude, but how did you get aboard this ship?
I don't exist here at all?
Well, I would say quite the contrary. You appear to exist in front of me, but I could very well be hallucinating.
No, I don't mean me. I mean another version of me.
I guarantee you are the first version of you I've had the pleasure of meeting.
Do you know who die is?
Die?
No, not like the verb die. It's spelled D-A-I.
I am unfamiliar with this person. There are none aboard the Everett with that name. I have to ask again, how did you get on this ship?
I came here from another dimension. Teo didn't seem alarmed or concerned in the slightest.
Then you used the pocket watch?
Yes.
Aye.
Teo summoned Eye into the room with us, however this eye was different.
Yes, Teo?
Eye, you're a boy?
I am neither male nor female, but my physical manifestation is that of a boy.
You still have a girl's voice though. The same voice even. Interesting.
How can I be of service?
Could you please tell the captain that the visitor we've been expecting has arrived via the pocket watch?
You've been expecting us?
Very well.
Teo put his hand toward me and helped me to my feet.
We should join the captain and the rest of the crew in the dining hall. They will be eager to meet you.
I can imagine. I nodded and followed Teo into the hallway. The ship looked the same as I remembered.
Are you from an Everett in a different universe?
Yes, I'm a research officer on my Everett.
You appear young enough to be second generation, no?
I am. My parents started the mission as research officers and passed their work on to me to complete.
Deborah and Patrick, right?
You know my parents?
I'm sorry.
What for? We hadn't quite made it to the dining hall before running into the other crew members.
Tio, thank you for bringing the girl here.
Everybody looks different. But the same. But different. You know? It's very weird. Teo had disappeared from my side. An uneasy feeling was developing rapidly. Kimiko?
How dare you address me so? It is Captain Yuki Mori to you.
Oh my god, you're Ayumi, aren't you? You're not Kimiko. Or are you Kimiko? Are you the parents? Are you guys first generation and we've gone back in time in a different dimension? You look different.
Oh, Sailor. You're about to have a bad day.
Beatrix, no need to be so ominous. Beatrix? Nicholas? Is that you? Both Beatrix and Nicholas seem confused.
You know us?
Yes, but you look different to my visions of you.
Oh, I feel sorry for the other me's. It's impossible to improve on this beauty.
Oh, you're definitely the same person. Nicholas sniggered at his sister's furious reaction. I traveled here with...
The pocket watch. We know.
Okay, so you are just different versions of the same people. What? How?
You are not the first person to travel here.
I'm not? Who else?
Give me the pocket watch.
No, I need this.
You either give it to me, or I take it by force.
I will gladly pry it from your hands.
I surveyed the crew sitting in front of me, and didn't favour my chances. Just hit the button again. Fine. I put my hand in my pocket, but it wasn't there. Pocket watch, it's gone. The captain made her way close to me and patted me down. She pulled away from me, satisfied that I didn't have it.
Tio will escort you to your temporary quarters for the time being.
Why is everyone so angry? The crew turned and left. Teo appeared beside me once again. Teo, what's going on?
Follow me, and I can answer your queries when we arrive at our destination.
I thought you were creepy, but you're the nicest person here. I followed Teo back to the way we came. Had first come, but before finally arriving at the quarters.
Take a seat.
I sat down, awaiting my explanation.
Your parents were executed.
What?
Last week, a woman with purple hair appeared in the same way you just did and murdered multiple crew members.
The Kimiko. The murderer. The serial killer Kimiko. That's been jumping between dimensions, killing everyone. Oh yeah, I know her. Carry on. What?
She was crazed, calling your name.
I don't understand. Who killed my parents?
The captain had them executed.
I'm so confused. What's going on here?
You need to remain calm so I can explain the situation to you.
I took a deep breath and did my best to gather my tempestuous thoughts.
Your parents created a pocket watch with the ability to create a link between different dimensions. Worlds running parallel to our own.
I clearly know that because I'm fucking here, aren't I? I nodded, indicating that I was following so far.
To travel, the watch must be present at both the origin and the destination.
I hid my growing excitement over finally learning more about the pocket watch. I leaned closer, filled with intrigue.
Your parents, however, couldn't work out how they connected, only that there needed to be two. Then last week, the purple-haired woman appeared and murdered many crew members before she disappeared as quickly as she had arrived. Before she did, she demanded the override code for the AI system.
Good.
Yoshiki told the woman that the word Astra had something to do with the code, so she let him leave.
Astra. Okay.
After the dust settled, the captain confronted your parents about their research and demanded to know how to prevent it occurring again. She established that the only way was to ensure that the watch could never be created again. Your parents died yesterday.
It was only a day late to see my parents, to have possibly saved them. I was in a trance when I appeared suddenly.
Hello, Teo.
You're gonna have me executed, right?
The captain has disposed of the watch. Travel between worlds is now impossible.
I can't leave.
I'm afraid that is correct.
I had a feeling this would happen. I'm sorry.
What? What's happening?
The captain has decided that you are to be executed.
Yep.
Your knowledge of the watch is too extensive, and as the child of our late research officers, you may have the ability to manufacture a new one. The captain needs to protect her crew.
I'm sorry.
Oxygen levels in quarter 4 dropping to unsafe levels. No, please. I need a way to save my own world. Dai is killing everyone.
Does Dai have purple hair?
No.
Then Dai is none of our concern.
Teo put on a breathing apparatus and walked out of his room. As the oxygen levels continued to drop, I gasped for breath, but the air was so thin it was like sucking the last drop of water out of a cup with a straw. It wasn't long before everything faded to black. Boom! I think that just gave us a word. Astra. That's pretty exciting. Let's just have a look at the timeline there. A girl. Yep, Astra. Awesome, that's 3. 2 more. 2 more and we've got the override code. Alright, let's just jump back in and we will not jump this time. But we'll try and take some different choices so that we can get a bit of new dialogue. Let's go fine, I'll join you, but you best make it worth my while. I smiled begrudgingly.
You won't regret your decision.
I followed Katashi to the kitchen. You better hold up his end of the bargain. And now we can skip again. That was not really worth it. Sweet.
A sweet tooth, eh? I can certainly appreciate that. I'm one too, after all.
Really? What's your favorite sweet?
Cake. Always cake. There's just something inherently beautiful about a perfectly risen and moist cake.
That sounds very dirty. Stop. Why don't you and Cake get a nice private room?
Jealous, are we?
Katashi grinned. I couldn't stop the blush. My joke had backfired pretty spectacularly. And skip. Oh, why are you making so much food?
Well, I am the cook here.
Yes, I know that, but you don't normally make so much food.
You noticed?
Of course. In fact, I know you're usually quite the stickler for rationing, and this doesn't look like rationing to me.
Okay. I'll let you in on a little secret.
Katashi signaled for me to come closer so he could whisper in my ear. I obliged.
The reason for this much food is you.
What? Why?
I know that you and Yoshiki were pretty close. His death would have been quite the blow for you.
Yeah, but...
Look, I'm not the greatest at comforting people. But do you know what is?
Cake. Food, apparently.
It's called comfort food for a reason.
I couldn't really argue with that logic. But the rations...
I get what you're saying, but in a morbid way, it's fine.
How so?
With 4 fewer crew members, our rations have increased proportionally.
Wow, that is morbid.
Yep. But the upside is having a smorgasbord of comfort food to choose from.
I'd rather have Yoshiki back. The room fell silent. I hadn't stopped to think how Katashi would react.
See, I'm not good at the whole comforting thing. I've done everything that I can think of, and yet I still stuff it up.
Aw. No, I really appreciate this, honestly.
Really?
Yes, of course, but I do wonder, why have you done this for me and no one else?
I like you.
Don't you like everyone?
Maybe some of the others have taken a crack at me, but when I say I like you, I mean I like you.
Are you confessing your feelings to me?
Hypothetically, if that's what it was, and I'm not saying it is. How am I doing?
I think I'll withhold judgment until I've sampled all of your wonderful food. I playfully shoved Katashi aside, eager to get to work on his spread. Alright, now we can skip again. Nope. Isn't listening to music distracting?
I can understand why you might think that, but music allows me to keep on track.
Really? How's that?
This is hard to explain, but imagine having multiple voices in your head.
Voices? I wonder if I should be more concerned than I was. Alright.
And while I'm in control of most of my thought processes, I have internal voices that, much like children, become easily distracted and tend to meander down unintended paths. The music acts like a guardian for these children. guiding them in the direction that I intend.
Is that why that purple Kimiko is running around murdering everyone? Did you let one of the children take over? So you're saying that music stops your mind from wandering off task?
Yes, precisely.
Okay.
It is amusing that you can explain it much better than I.
You explained it well, I just put it in layman's terms. The captain smiled at my compliment.
So, do you have a method to help you concentrate?
I wish I had something miraculous, but I don't know if such a thing exists.
Perhaps you should try listening to music.
Skip. Alright, sorry Katashi. We're gonna keep working instead. This is very tempting, Katashi, and I do want to spend time with you, but I feel like I'm close to a breakthrough here.
Really? But I made enough popcorn to feed an army.
That's not true, it only took 10 minutes to finish, I remember. I could see Katashi was utterly crestfallen. I'm sorry, Katashi. As for the popcorn, Shizuka could put an army to shame with her appetite.
True. I guess I'll ask her to join me for the evening.
Sorry again, Katashi.
I understand, Mrs. Workaholic. Just try not to burn yourself out.
Thanks, Katashi. Katashi slinked out of the lab and I returned to my work. Hours passed and nothing new had surfaced. Damn, I knew I should have spent the evening with Katashi. I wallowed in self-pity and regret as I headed back to my quarters defeated. I arrived back. My mood was a complete antithesis of what it had been this morning. I suddenly changed into my night clothes and slumped into bed. Tomorrow brought the new Deletion Game with it. I had once again failed to prevent it. I rolled over, and eventually an uneasy sleep came to me. What I wouldn't give to remake today over again. Skip. Alright, here we go. Don't press the button. Obviously this is just going to bring us to the override code again, but whatevs. It means when we do actually have the code, we can just jump into all the endings and bam, 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 bam. It's going to be a good time. I didn't yet have a good enough reason to press the button. My back wasn't hard enough against the wall just yet. Glaring at the watch for making my mind so tumultuous, I knew that I had to make a choice sometime. A quick glance at my tablet told me that two people were awake. The captain, who was pacing up and down the bridge, and Katashi in the kitchen. It was the easiest decision I'd made at this point. The kitchen awaited. I found Katashi humming to himself absent-mindedly. I doubt he was expecting anyone to need to use the kitchen at this hour, and for good reason. He hadn't noticed me yet. Hum back at him.
What the?
Johnny Castaway. Katashi jumped back, staring wildly around, searching for the intruder and finding only me.
You scared the living daylights out of me.
It was such a catchy tune, I just wanted to join in.
Next time let me know you're here first. My heart stopped for a second there.
I tend to have that effect on men. I smiled devilishly at Katashi, who seemed slightly taken aback by my forwardness.
This isn't the first time you've snuck up on men in the middle of the night, is it?
It's 4:30.
Oh, how silly of me. You mean you sneak up on men in the wee hours of the morning?
Exactly. Usually in bushes, but, you know. Only on weekends and special occasions. I batted my eyelashes at Katashi, whose eyes boggled for a second before he composed himself.
Okay, so tell me, why are you awake this early?
I fought my bedside table in an epic clash.
Did you win?
I leaned forward, showing the raised bump on my head.
I guess that answers my question.
Katashi's laughter quickly faded.
Seriously, are you okay though? You don't have a concussion or anything, do you?
I don't think so. I was a bit woozy just after, but...
Woozy? That sounds just like a concussion.
Seriously, I'm fine.
I'm going to wake Nicholas immediately.
Katashi was halfway out the kitchen before I managed to catch him and haul him back by his shirt sleeve. Please don't.
And why not?
I'm sure Nicholas is asleep right now.
You could be injured. Your life could be at risk and I don't want to be the one responsible.
How about you just keep an eye on me and only wake me up if things go south? Katashi looked at me suspiciously but gave it in with a humph.
Fine. But you even sneeze funny? Straight to the medical bay.
Deal. I circled around the island to get a better look at what Katashi was cooking. Any help there?
I don't think so, Missy.
And why not?
You're to sit on this seat and not move a muscle.
I can
You're
help.
sitting right where I can see you and keeping me company.
I humphed even louder than Katashi had earlier, sitting down at the kitchen island bench. Katashi continued to cook, pointedly ignoring me and staying silent. What are you cooking?
Dinner.
Dinner? It's not even breakfast yet.
I know that.
I'm confused.
I'm making pre-made dinners to freeze for later.
Why? You usually cook every day. Katashi stopped what he was doing and turned to face me, Tears formed shimmering tracks on his pallid face.
Today's the Deletion Game. I may not have lived to make today's dinner, let alone tomorrow's.
Katashi,
Just making sure I leave enough behind for everyone when I'm gone, okay?
you're not gonna die, Katashi.
Newbie, you need to come to terms with the fact that it's not just a possibility, it's an inevitability.
I won't let that happen. Katashi smiled, a mixture of compassion and grief mixed in with it. Look, I'll prove it. I pulled the watch from my pocket, shoving it at Katashi. My parents' watch, their legacy. Katashi's interest spiked.
The watch is working?
I nodded.
What does this mean for us?
All I know is that when I woke up this morning, it was lit up. I haven't pressed anything yet.
You're not curious.
I know it does something related to dimensional travel, but I don't know any of the specifics.
I see.
I sat in silence, looking at the watch. Its glow gently mocked me. I'm not desperate enough yet to risk everything on the ship by using it. Katashi smiled appreciatively.
That's the newbie I know.
I slipped the watch back in my pocket, freshly reassured that I was making the right choice. Without a grasp of all the possible consequences, I just don't know if I could ever activate the watch in good conscience. Katashi looked like he was deep in thought.
How about this? If the time comes when I believe we have run out of options and we have no other choice, I will tell you and you can activate the watch then. Deal?
Sounds like a plan. I shook on it. Seems like the smart approach to the situation. I'm glad I came to you for advice. I beamed up at Katashi. I somehow felt like a weight was lifted from my chest, knowing that we had a backup plan of sorts.
So, I hope you're hungry. I need a taste tester.
Oh?
You look like the perfect guinea pig.
Hey, I'm no pig.
Damn. These chocolate chip pikelets are perfect for piggies.
Do you like piggies, do you? I looked down at the pikelets, and that was enough to make me instantly change my tone. Sorry, I misspoke. I meant to say oink oink.
Very cute, newbie. Problem is, guinea pigs make a squeaking noise.
I have to admit, I've never heard one.
It's like... squeak, squeak.
We both broke into laughter at the same moment. Just seeing the effort of each other desperately holding it in was proving too much for us.
Oh, I'm glad I can still make you laugh.
I spent the whole of the early morning with Katashi, watching him cook and freeze meal after meal, sampling each one as it paraded past. Soon it was 7 o'clock.
Alright, here's the last mouthful for you, Miss Piggy.
I can't eat anymore, please have mercy. Katashi chuckled to himself, clearly pleased with the results.
I guess I'll take this one for the team.
The fork was practically in his mouth when Dai appeared right in front of him, yelling at the top of her lungs.
Katashi, the game hasn't even started yet. Don't sacrifice yourself for my sake.
She pretended to knock the fork out of his hand, her outstretched arm passing right through it. She howled in mock anguish.
Good morning, Di.
There could be no more good mornings without you in it.
Alright, Di, that's enough melodrama for one morning.
I don't think it's ever enough melodrama for her. That's what she lives for. It's the whole reason we're doing this game. Di straightened up and ran her hands down her rumpled holographic clothes to make herself presentable again.
Nothing smells quite as good as murder in the morning.
How can you smell murder if it hasn't happened yet? And if you don't have a nose? You're an AI? Di stares daggers at me, challenging me to finish that sentence.
Would you happen to be volunteering yourself to rectify that situation?
Sounds to me like quite the loaded offer there.
Oh, you're both volunteering now.
Sorry, Di, you're right. Murder smells great. Di was pleased with my sudden acquiescence.
You're a fast learner.
So, tell us what you want with us, Di.
As you know, today is the day we play the new round of the Deletion Game, Vampire Children.
Uh-huh.
I need to tell you your role, silly.
So spit it out. What am I?
Di whispered in Katashi's ear, gesturing in my direction with her
I
head.
can't tell you in front of her.
I can hear you, you know.
She's already trying to cheat.
Well, she's not doing a very good job.
Katashi leaned in to whisper back to Di.
I heard she's suffering from a head injury.
Katashi, don't be so mean. Her face always looks like she's just been stunned. Please return to your quarters. I'll be with you shortly to tell you your role, too.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Ah, sweet submission. I just love it when they roll over and present their soft, exposed bellies.
I left the two of them in the kitchen and headed back to my room as instructed. I made sure to walk extra slowly just to get back at Di any way I could. I finally strolled through the door and walked to the bedside table, stroking it gently but menacingly. We meet again, old nemesis. I need to call a temporary truce so you can hold on to something precious for me. I slipped the watch gingerly into the bedside table's single drawer. I slid the drawer shut at the same time as Di appeared in my quarters.
Yoo-hoo! It's me, your favorite AI again.
Dude, there's 2 AIs on this ship, and you are my least favorite of the 2. What makes you think you're my favorite?
Maybe the oxygen levels in your quarters tells you that I am?
Sounds like you've been misinformed. Di grinned, clearly enjoying defiance almost as much as compliance.
Now, aren't you just itching to find out who you get to be?
Yeah, I suppose.
You are...
Di drew out the word, trying to heighten the anticipation. After way too long, I interjected. Well?
Not the vampire. Sorry to disappoint.
No, I'm pleased about that.
Wait, really? You want to be human?
Yeah.
Huh. I think I need to repeat the game's rules again. I feel like you clearly weren't listening.
I'm good, thanks, Di.
I guess we'll see soon enough. Bon chance! It was nice knowing you.
Di blew me a kiss goodbye, vanishing from the room. Moments later, I heard her through the ship's PA system.
Everyone has now been allocated their role. The first round will begin at 9 a.m. sharp. You have just under 2 hours to mingle and scheme. Eee, this is so exciting!
The PA just cut out as Di was clearly overexcited. Di suddenly phased back into my quarters. Did you forget something?
I am not Di. I am I.
Oh, sorry, I assumed you were... I suddenly cut me
We
off.
need to speak. I do not have long. Come to the server room.
Time for a skippy. Alrighty. The same old don't have the override code, so... I mean, we got 3 bits of the override code, but we don't have the override code. I stumbled along the dark hallway, feeling my way back to my quarters. Not long after I made it there, the lights came back on. Oh, good. Oh, that's much better. Di's voice boomed angrily through the PA system.
I don't know what you're up to, but trust me, I will punish whoever's messing with me right now.
Is she talking about what just happened?
To start with, I'm gonna mess with you all now. I'm moving the game's start time up. T-minus 5 minutes.
Silence fell as I tried to grasp what had just happened. I no longer had time to speak with the crew concerning game strategy now. Katashi woke me from my internal monologue by almost breaking my door. Breaking down my door. You're the vampire, right? I ran to the door and let him in. He obviously sprinted all the way here.
The... Watch.
Push the button. What?
I'm not... the vampire.
Katashi, take a moment. I can't understand you like that. Katashi stood there for a few moments, barely catching his breath before proceeding.
I'm not the vampire.
That's great news, neither am I.
Newbie, don't you understand?
Understand what?
We needed one of us to be the vampire.
Why would you say something like that?
Not knowing who the vampire is as good as a death penalty.
What? How?
The vampire has a partner, which they most certainly would. That means we have a 50-50 chance of breeding with a vampire in round 2, leaving us with the least amount of human babies.
So what are you saying we do? Katashi got more flustered as he spoke.
That is, if they aren't all working together. We certainly can't trust the Fogels, and the captain hasn't been at all the same since Yoshiki died.
Ooh, this is different. We're gonna hit the button and get the hell out of here. I still don't understand.
Newbie, it's time for you to use the watch.
Let's do this. We should wait until...
You're already sentenced to death!
No, but...
You made me a promise, Newbie! I honestly believe that right now we're walking into a death trap. If either of us were the vampire, things would be very different.
But the fact hasn't changed, and I still don't know what would happen if I pressed the button. Katashi came right up to me, placing both his hands squarely on my shoulders. He choked his words as they came out.
I will not let you die if there's even the remotest chance of escape. Please.
If I hold on to him and then press the button, do we both go? His grip tightened to almost painful levels. I nodded almost because his words moved me. Not mostly because his words moved me, but also because the pain in my shoulders was becoming unbearable. Okay, but on one condition.
Anything.
If there was a way for you to follow me after, you must do it. Katashi nodded vigorously in agreement, finally loosing his grip, allowing me to fetch the pocket watch from the safe spot. I stood directly in front of Katashi, then took a few steps back just in case he got caught up in God knows what after the watch is activated.
Do it.
Katashi was still obviously wrestling with the choice he'd made, but he didn't stop me. I smiled reassuringly at him when I pressed the button. The watch beeped loudly as everything turned black.
A new challenger has entered the ring.
Oh, is it this again? I felt sick at the pit of my stomach on the verge of throwing up. I rolled over on my back and slowly opened my eyes. What is going on? What the... I couldn't quite process the scene that awaited me. Vladimir and Yoshiki were... What's going on? Am I dreaming? This had better be a dream.
Apparently, the new contender is mentally unstable. Is this going to be a fair fight? Do we even care? Blood is blood. Am I right, folks?
The crowd roared in unanimous agreement. Vladimir continued choking Yoshiki, using his own suspenders, Melody on his shoulders cheering him on. Vladimir, what the hell are you doing?
Wait your turn.
My turn for what?
To die, silly!
Melody laughed a bloodthirsty laugh that made me shudder with repulsion.
Hold up. What's this? A second new contestant?
No. I looked at my feet already knowing what I would see. Katashi was sprawled at my feet in a moaning heap. Katashi! Katashi looked up at me with confusion before clutching his stomach, retching and heaving on the floor.
Ew. The new guy's sick. Sick and twisted.
The crowd roared, hitting me with a solid wall of frenzied sound. Katashi got to his feet, still trembling, but looking more lucid.
We did it, newbie. We changed dimensions, didn't we?
Yeah, this dimension's kind of crap though. Yeah, but I think we have some more immediate problems. Vladimir had just finished off Yoshiki and had turned on Katashi, throwing a wild punch at him. Katashi deftly dodged it, but the momentum carried it straight into me. A second blow to my head in one day was one too many.
Newbie! Newbie, are you okay? Please, say something!
Our champion is now using the suspenders he just killed Yoshiki with on the new guy. What a show.
Kill the monkeys! Kill the monkeys!
Who knew Vladimir was such a good fighter? My consciousness faded, the muffled sounds of Katashi struggling, barely breaking through the soft haze that descended on me. Some backup plan this turned out to be. Well, fantastic. So where are we there? Alrighty. Alrighty, well, when we come back, we'll head the other way and see what happens. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.